1, 2, 3.
Hello and welcome to the Narc Alert, the channel where we look at YouTubers and others to see if they demonstrate any traits that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder or NPD. These videos are for fun and entertainment purposes only, strictly my opinion, and remember, please don't send any snark to our possible narcs. So key points to remember: messy fun and not a diagnosis. Hello my lovely alerts, welcome back. I hope everyone's week is off to a fantastic start. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Amy, infamous from the Kitchen Nightmares episode Amy's Baking Company. Samy Buzaglo was trying to be a good guy when he built his wife the restaurant of her dreams. They invested a great deal of money to become a success. Sadly, Amy's skills and ability to run a kitchen are sorely lacking.
Approximately 2 years ago, these reviewers and these bloggers decided to make up lies and say that they ate the food and it was disgusting. Son of a bitch. And we lost a tremendous amount of business because of it. They're just haters.
This really just isn't good.
Too garlicky, too buttery, too sweet, not cooked enough, too overdone.
That doesn't work for me.
They both seem to have issues dealing with criticism and dealing with the public. When a bad Yelp review was published, they did exactly the wrong thing and went off on the Yelper. Once the show aired, it just all got much, much worse. Before filming, the camera crew was sent in the day before Gordon Ramsay was to arrive. They witnessed an intense fight between Samy and a customer who complained that they'd been waiting an hour for a pizza. Samy lashed out at him and ordered him to leave, but not before insisting that the two customers pay for their drinks. Samy starts in on the customer's friend, while Amy threatens to call the police, and just when it appears that Samy and the customer are going to come to blows, a cameraman steps in and escorts the customers out of the restaurant. Amy proceeds to have a complete meltdown in front of the remaining customers. Amy and her husband may be two of the most outrageous characters on reality television, and as a former chef, this speaks to me especially loud. We will be looking at an interview that Amy and Samy did with Sheila Conlon on her podcast, Breaking with Reality. So without any further ado, let's dive right in.
Right here, right now, with our guests, Amy and Samy Buzaglo from Amy's Baking Company. Yay! But let's get started and talk about, it was Amy and Samy, Amy's Baking Company. A couple years ago, you were on, the most famous episode.
3 years ago.
Oh, 3 years ago, right?
Oh,
3
it goes
years
fast.
ago.
Go
No
fast.
kidding.
Yeah.
One of the most famous episodes of Kitchen Nightmares history, and it was basically, the episode that was heard around the world. And basically here's what happened. You became overnight reality TV stars. You became viral sensations with parodies and all kinds of things happening. Your business probably went upside down. People were coming. Well, I think you even said you had fans from all over the world, right?
We still do. We're very gracious and we're happy that the people reached out to us. We're very humbled that they reached out to us from Saskatchewan to China, Iran, everywhere, and they are just so incredible. They came to visit us when we had the restaurant. We sold it a year ago, and they would come from all over the world or call us or tweet us or send us messages of encouragement telling us how much they loved us and how proud they were of us for standing up to that bully.
The interviewer is being exceptionally kind and letting Amy and Samy paint their own narrative. Here, Amy is setting the tone for the interview. Gordon Ramsay is the bully.
Now tell me about that. So these people would come. Did they come in and eat, or were they lining up around the block?
Yes.
And literally to come in and say, that must have been exciting, though.
It was very exciting. It's still very exciting. We've relocated here to Los Angeles, and it's just a different planet, but in a good way. And we'll be walking down the street, and people are like, "Oh my God, it's Amy and Samy from Kitchen Nightmares. We love you guys!" And they're so warm and so nice, and we really enjoy it.
People with NPD tendencies always remind others of how loved and admired they are. Given the show I saw, I would be afraid to approach this couple.
But let's recap and show a little bit of what went viral out there, because I have to say you inspired some people to be quite creative. It was fun, and but that takes a lot. You really have something there when it takes someone that wants to create a whole new something about you.
Right.
I will have to respectfully disagree with this interviewer. These two did not go viral for having anything more than rage issues, not a special quality.
And had either of you, talking about getting on the show, have either of you seen an episode of Kitchen Nightmares before they came to film?
Yes, we were big fans of the show. We're still big fans of the show. We're still big fans of Gordon Ramsay's we think that it was hysterical. We loved it, and we still watch it, especially now we know what really happened, so we watch it with a different perspective. We're like, that is fake. That's fake. That's fake. Those poor people.
We all know now that much of reality shows are scripted and fake. Amy is trying to deflect responsibility. No matter what was faked, the way they acted was genuine.
So different.
Right. A different thing. So let's talk about, because like you said, on Breaking Into Reality, right now we go behind the scenes and to really take a look at what happened, and what it was like, and some of the things that you went through, the employees and the tip thing. It's when we were looking at you guys to come on the show, that was one of the things we saw in the Yelp reviews and then in interviewing the employees. So what happened with that?
Well, we had never even had any problems with it. Our servers were always paid hourly. We never had it where they were going to be working on tips, so there was never any confusing times until the television cameras started to roll, and that's when everyone started to have a problem with it.
The problem is, if I tip my server for great service, I do not think my tip goes to the owner. An employment contract was leaked, which is how they legally got away with confiscating servers' tips. The contract states employees are obligated to work holidays and weekends with no exception. Anyone who fails to show up faces a $250 penalty. All tips are property of the restaurant, and they agree to waive all claims to such money. Anyone who's either fired or quits Amy's baking company will not be allowed to work for any competitor within a 50-mile radius for 1 year.
But we were actually investigated after the show by the Department of Wage, Hour, and Labor for stealing our servers' tips, because we're the devil. And it turns out that we really had not been stealing our servers' tip. There was nothing inappropriate done there. We were cleared of any wrongdoing. If any of that had merit, we would have been penalized, we would have been in prison, or we would have been in an insane asylum, to tell you the truth, if any of those things were true that they had said about us.
So much drama. I do not think you would end up in jail or an insane asylum if you had to repay some tips. It is an attempt to minimize what they did by making the consequences sound inequitable.
Now, from doing the show since day one, for me, the criteria for going on Kitchen Nightmares is we look for restaurants that are failing in certain areas, need some help, whether it's, a better menu, more customers, better help with training employees, or family issues, because a lot of what we did was family-owned businesses. And so I remember your main call or cry for help to be on the show was about the Yelp reviews.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. What was the issue that you had with the Yelp people?
Well, we had a few unfortunate times where we had actually this one guy, he had come into the restaurant and he gave us a really bad review. It was not an honest review. He was just trying to shake us down for a pizza, and we were like, dude, if you're hungry, we'll just give you the pizza, but you don't have to make up a malicious lie and slander us on Yelp or anywhere else just because you can, right? A little keyboard warrior. So we retaliated against him, and it brought like this huge fire to the local community. Everyone decided to come against us because we actually had the balls to stand up to a Yelper. And that's what started it. And then when Kitchen Nightmares reached out to us and asked us if we were interested in being on the show, we were like, no, because our food is delicious and we're united and we're not, thank God, in financial trouble. So there's no reason for you to come here. And because we know your show, we watch your show, we love your show.
Right.
And they were like, no, we know you have problems. We know lots of things happen. And I told them, I said, the only problem we have are issues with the Yelpers. And if you guys can come and help us with that, then come. We have nothing to hide. And so that's how it started. That's
I remember,
the truth
I
of
was
it.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were supposed to really help us with the Yelpers and really bring attention to the fact that we're business owners that are working, trying to get our business going. And it's not fair to have someone to be able to just come in and slaughter your business and slander you and defame you for no reason because they're trying to shake you down for free food or for free drinks.
To be fair, it is not possible to truly assess character on a short TV show that is edited. But from what we have seen, this feels like gaslighting. The couple we've seen is not likely to give someone a free pizza.
They do it a lot. We call them the camel toe mafia. A bunch of pussies who hide behind their computer screens just writing stuff that's not true. Come say it to my face.
Not all of us of advanced age are this inept online. Some people should not be allowed a keyboard unsupervised. A business cannot deal with negative comments online by posting publicly and calling customers camel toe mafia. They created a huge media storm by feeding the trolls and simply cannot see it.
On Kitchen Nightmares, where Gordon actually, left. He said he can't help you and walked out. So were you surprised that happened?
I was surprised when he said that. I was surprised when I watched it and he said, I'm leaving because Amy's incapable of listening and cannot take criticism. I was like, did you forget that I sent you guys an email in the middle of the night after the second night of filming telling you I will not participate in your reindeer games anymore?
We know people with NPD do not handle criticism well. She is also not taking responsibility for her behavior, ending the taping of the show. She already condescendingly told him she wasn't playing any more reindeer games. She ended it. Gordon did not.
Because we stopped the filming because he told us, or told the world, that my husband was stealing the tip.
People think Gordon Ramsay is playing a character. As a former executive pastry chef who worked in 4- and 5-star dining, I will say he reminds me of many of my past chefs. And right here, when he's calling out a slimy owner for stealing tips, I couldn't love him more.
There were lots of things that went on and we said, no, we're not participating in this anymore. We absolutely refused to participate. So we were very surprised when they told the world that they were leaving because they couldn't help us.
This is a difference without a distinction. If she did call and quit because she didn't like what she was hearing, she is demonstrating the exact behavior that caused him to shut it all down, her uncooperative nature and unwillingness to take criticism.
They couldn't help you. So, Sammy, how did it feel that day? Was it just crazy for you? Or
I was happy he left, because we didn't need the show. We didn't think I thought he's going to come, tell the world that my wife's food is good because everybody say it except the camel toe mafia tried to shake me down for a pizza. Come on.
Right.
Both of these two are so entitled, they truly think they're better than the rest of us. Even from Sammy's retelling of the pizza Yelp, the customer never asked for a free pizza. He didn't like what he got and he wrote a bad review. The only reason they had Gordon there was to back them up as they are so certain they're correct in every situation.
I think you told me a little bit about with Reddit and even with Yelp. But tell me about that whole community and what happened.
What happened after the filming, after Kitchen Nightmares left, nothing happened because nobody knew why they left. Everything was very quiet. Our community was kind of like, what is going on? Why is Kitchen Nightmares gone? Where did Amy and Samy put the bodies? Right? It was just like, what's going on here?
And this is a little petty thing, but sometimes there's truth in humor. Why would she or anybody ask where did they hide the bodies, unless their reputation preceded them?
They're all gone.
They're all gone. And then, of course, everything
when
happened.
the show aired.
So that happened. And then on a Sunday night, I went to sleep. And I woke up the next day to a nightmare. That's when my computer was hacked. My social media, my Facebook and my Twitter were hacked. And I went in and I had hundreds of thousands of new posts. And I was like, what is going on here? And this is what happened.
So, it was not Amy and Samy who were online defending themselves and calling people out in their exact tone. It was a hacker. This delusional woman clearly went off online and, feeling such a sense of righteousness, never expected what would happen. Her answer is to claim a hack. How convenient.
Somebody went in and hacked my Facebook and my Twitter page, and they wrote really vitriolic, horrible things to kind of incite a war of hatred against my husband and I. And some people believed it was me. I told people if I wanted to say something, I would say it to your face, and I'm not going to write something and then say, oh no, I didn't write that.
Right.
But this is what really happened to it, and it just led this huge shitstorm against us, the hate against us.
Wow. And nobody really prepares you for that, because you didn't finish doing the entire filming, because typically in our production world you have someone that prepares you when the show comes out and gets you ready for all of that stuff. So you were sort of left alone.
Yes. We were left, kind of abandoned with that aspect. Yes.
Right.
People with NPD traits love to play the victim. Moments earlier, she told us in no uncertain terms she chose to quit the show and wouldn't play any more reindeer games. Now she is saying they abandoned her.
All of so safe to say, nothing really changed, because that's usually what we try and do on these shows, is come in, break you down, build you back up, give you tools to work with and go on. So you were sort of left without anything to pick up and go, right? So what happened? About a year after your first episode aired, then there was another episode.
So they came back and they started to talk to us. They wanted to know what had been happening with
This woman really should not be working in the hospitality industry. It is really a difficult place to get treated like you're special. I'm unclear as to how they would have agreed to have the show back. This performance, coupled with the total lack of online awareness, could have only made it worse for them.
What was with both of you after all of this stuff? What were the hard times that you went through that people don't know?
What hard time? I don't remember I had any hard time. I stayed open 2 years. The business was busy, was quiet, as like other businesses.
Right.
And then, but the only what's happened to me, I couldn't manage the business like before, because I don't know who is the hater, I don't know who is the lover. But most of them, they were lover. They came. I used to attack them in the entrance. Are you lover or are you hater? He said, no, we love you. No, we love you.
People who demonstrate NPD traits can be very paranoid. This must have been an incredibly stressful situation for them, not knowing if a customer is there to enjoy or mock. Side note, imagine an owner greeting you like that at the door.
Hold up a sign and then you can come in. Love or hater.
That section or this
Yeah.
section?
Yeah.
But like Amy, we talked a little bit. It's like there's some part. Did you get depressed? Did you feel? Because
Not me. No. It was regular.
Well, you're the man.
Yeah.
Okay. But
it's Amy. She was. She took it really bad, because she doesn't like to be, somebody criticized, especially when she has a good food.
Most of us with narcs in our life know you never speak about them in public unless it is over-the-top praise. She is not liking what he is saying, and you can see her physically bristle at his words, and she will quickly clarify.
She doesn't like to be, somebody criticized, especially when she has a good food. Believe me, she has a good food, and she has a beautiful dessert also. Even Gordon Ramsay, he admitted about the dessert, because it was not his role. He know what's good, he know what's not good, but he did say it was good.
Gordon Ramsay did compliment her cake. He gives props when they are due. There was, however, some controversy with their pricing, where they claim it is the price it is due to them repackaging and reselling product. So maybe Amy can't bake either.
I know you're both resilient and strong, and you're great. You have great talent and all of that, and survivors. But deep down, what happens?
It was hard. I mean, we literally went from being loved people in our community to waking up to being public enemy number one, like for real. I don't think people understand the magnitude of the hate that was directed towards us. It was around the same time that Ariel Castro, the child molester who kidnapped those 3 girls and held them in his basement for their lives, it was the same time that they were rescued, and we were getting more hate than that man.
Even when people with NPD traits are bad, they have to be the most bad. So, of course, she, a woman who is perceived as unhinged, who runs a cafe, is universally hated as much as a monster like Ariel Castro. What arrogance.
I was just like, something's really wrong here. It was kind of like the Salem witch hunts. And like literally, people would walk by our restaurant, but they were like walking by with tiki torches, like going to Frankenstein's castle to come burn us at the stake. I'm not kidding.
What got you through it?
2 things got me through. A lot of things got me through it. Of course, my husband and my love for my husband and our unity together got me through it. And then I said, you know what? They think I'm a joke. That was my biggest problem, was having people think I was a joke, because I dedicate so much of my life to crafting my talent, my skill, and I want to present the best I can to people. So I decided to write a cookbook.
Oh, look, we have another author. Am I sensing a pattern here? While the rest of the interview is a lot of self-promotion of Amy's latest cookbooks, and apparently she actually makes cannabis edibles too. But the restaurant is long closed. Thanks so much for watching. I would love it if you would subscribe and click like if you like. It would be awesome if you could support the channel by joining and grabbing a membership. I try to offer some good perks to our members. You guys are making it really difficult to find a member to feature. You are all so talented. But don't worry, we'll sort it out this week. And until next time, be kind and hasta luego.